Hey everybody out there in YouTube and Internet Wonderland, this is Marty Rocket again, and I'm back with this week's Rocket vlog. Now, for the last couple of vlogs that I've done, I've reviewed a movie and I've reviewed a cartoon. Well, you know, the next sort of progression from there, I guess, is video games, and that's exactly what we're going to do today. We're going to look at a video game that came out on the Nintendo 64, which is old enough to be considered retro now, I guess. And the game we're going to be looking at is WCW vs nWo World Tour. This was a very popular video game back in the day, especially among myself and a lot of kids in my neighbourhood. Back in those days, before pro wrestling really took off with the height of Stone Cold Steve Austin and all that sort of stuff, kids in my neighbourhood weren't really into pro wrestling. In fact, the only two who were me and a close friend of mine who lived down the street. But this game had such a fun factor to it that it sort of brought everybody together, you know, because the Nintendo 64 was made for up to four players. We'd all get together and play a few rounds on this, and everybody just had such a damn good time that even though, you know, at least 2 out of 4 of us weren't wrestling fans, they really enjoyed it. And that's inspired me to have a look at this game today and share it with you. You might have seen this game before and you might have owned it before and played it before, or you may be somebody who might not have been alive back then, and certainly there are a lot of youngsters who are on the internet now who probably weren't alive back then and probably haven't played this. So this is for your enjoyment, and I hope you enjoy watching it as much as I'm going to enjoy playing it. Okay, so this is the main menu of the video game, as you can see. Now, back then, wrestling games didn't have a great deal of options. You know, you sort of had 3, maybe 4 sort of options. You had one-on-one, tag team, and if you were lucky enough, you had a no-holds-barred brawl option on there as well, or maybe a steel cage option. But WCW vs nWo World Tour has quite a lot of options. As you can see, we've got the WCW vs nWo game, which is you take 5 WCW wrestlers and pit them against 5 nWo wrestlers in head-to-head elimination matches, and whoever wins the majority of those matches out of 5 is the winning side. There's also a round robin tournament, single elimination tournament. You can either have, you know, it's not restricted to just singles matches, you can have single matches or tag team matches, same with the round robin tournament as well. And also the league challenge. Now the league challenge is kind of like the main sort of point of the game, if you like. A lot of the wrestlers are locked in this game, and to unlock them you have to go through the league challenge and beat each league. I've selected it, as you can see. You have to go through the WCW League, nWo League, the DOA League, and the Independent Union League. Each one has a specific wrestler once you've completed it that is unlocked. I think WCW had Diamond Dallas Page, nWo had Randy Savage. I'm not too sure about the last two, to be honest with you. So that's that. And finally we have the exhibition mode, which is the majority of what we're going to play today, I guess. As you can see, there are 4 different options. We've got one-on-one single, tag team, handicap match, which is 2 guys on 1 guy, so 1 guy gets raped in the ring, I guess, and the battle royal, which is 4-man mayhem, which is the thing that me and all the kids in the neighbourhood enjoyed playing back in the day, because I mean, that was just complete anarchy, you know. But for now, you know, I'll show you how what the game's like in the basic one-on-one mode. So you can select which corner you wrestle in. It's up to you which one. So I'll just stay with the red corner, press A. So here we are with the wrestler selection screen. Okay, so all the wrestlers are divided into the different leagues: WCW League, nWo League, DOA League, Independent Union League. So as you can see, there are a fair few wrestlers on each screen and each league that you can select. Back in the day, this was considered quite a lot of wrestlers to be in a wrestling game. I think before this they were only up to about 12, but I'd venture to guess there are at least 30 here. So let's get into a bit of the gameplay and just sort of quickly select a wrestler. I'm going to be Sting. Sting in the blue and red outfit, I think, yeah. I prefer that over the Crow sort of outfit. And let's stick him against Hulk Hogan, since everybody knows who Hulk Hogan is. So then you get to your match rules, you get a list of options, and I think this was one of the big things that people really enjoyed about this game, especially people who are really into pro wrestling. You can literally select all the rules and customize it to how you want it. So if you want a time limit on it, you can stick a time limit on it. You can decide if a victory is gained through a pinfall, submission, TKO. So you can turn, certain ones off and select ones on. So if you just want it to be a match that's won through TKO, just select that as yes, and pin and submission no. But we'll go with, you can win through any sort of way. Rope break, you can turn that on or off, and basically that means if the wrestler touches the ropes, they have to break. The guy who's got the other one in a submission hold or a pinfall has to break it. Ring out is count out, so you can customize how long the wrestlers can stay out of the ring before they're disqualified. You've got the options here of turning it off, setting it so they have 10 seconds outside the ring, 20 seconds outside the ring. Lumberjack as well. Lumberjack basically means that they can't leave the ring. Typically a lumberjack match is where two wrestlers are in the ring and a bunch of wrestlers surround the ring, and the wrestlers around the ring stop either wrestler from making a getaway. So we'll just put it on 20 seconds. That's the typical standard Japanese time, so we'll stick with that. Another thing to mention that I didn't mention yet is that WCW nWo World Tour is an American, I guess, adaptation or re-release of a Japanese wrestling game known as Virtual Pro Wrestling 64. Which was a big video game in Japan, and I guess THQ saw how good it was and decided to bring it over to the States and to Europe as WCW vs nWo World Tour. I think Virtual Pro Wrestling had the WCW and nWo guys in it anyway, so they didn't have to really, change too much about it. The funny thing is, though, the wrestlers that are in the Independent Union and the DOA League are actually real Japanese wrestlers, but because of licensing issues they had to change their names. So I think guys like Taka Michinoku are called Black Belt, and Super Dolphin from Osaka Pro Wrestling is The Unknown. Some really goofy, funny names which I really enjoy. And that's just a bit of trivia for you. Also, quick match as well. It says there, more realistic, quicker match. Mind you, I don't think, the matches don't necessarily last that long. Depends how tough you want to make it and how tough the computer wants to make it, or if you're playing with another player, how much your opponent wants to make it, but we'll keep that as no. Set sort of handicap, let's set them high. I assume it's handicap anyway. Right, so here we go, finally getting into it. Now the first thing to notice is how, with at least what I think the first thing to notice is how the wrestlers look. For the time they look great. The only thing is their faces look like they were sort of put through the steamroller. So I'll go through the controls with you now as we're sort of grappling. I took Hulk Hogan down. Your A button is your grapple button, and the B button is your strike button, so I'll just show you. There you go, pressing the B button, strikes, just kick him a bit, punch to the gut, forearm. So there are two different types of grapple you can do as well. Tapping the A button causes a quick grapple, which means Sting will use a weaker move when I just tap the A button. Holding the A button initiates a strong grapple, and if I can get Sting to do something, there you go, we've done a power bomb, which is typically a more heavier impact sort of move. other buttons as well. Press the down C button, that gets him to run into the ropes. And you can do running moves, as I just demonstrated, by pressing down C, running into the ropes, coming back, and pressing B. That causes him to do a clothesline, as you just saw then. Hulk's not making much of a fight of it at the moment. You can grapple from the front, you can grapple from the back, you can hit from the front, you can hit from the back. You can do strong punches by holding down the B button. Saw a spinning forearm then. Thought it was knocked out for a second. Let's see, what else can you do? Pressing R at the right time will reverse a strike or a counter from your opponent. I was never great at that, to be honest. The interesting thing as well is if you hold R at the wrong time, he puffs his chest out, or he, I don't know why he did that. If you press R while on the outside of the ring, he'll sort of lean backwards to avoid getting hit. Let's grab Hogan and bring him out of the ring. There we go. So some shenanigans outside the ring there. This is always fun. Throw him into the barricade. Yeah! You hear the crowd scream like it's a real horrific thing. It's really cool. Pressing the analog stick, by the way, causes you to taunt. But speaking of the audience, check it out. I mean, I know the N64 didn't have, like, I guess, the greatest graphics in the world. Even though I guess they kind of did back then. But the crowd just looks like, I don't really know. There's that rope break. That saved my ass. Let's get into this, fight him a bit. Because while I've been talking to you, Hogan's kicking my ass. Now you notice his spirit meter just started saying special, right? Basically he's built up his energy and momentum enough to do his finishing move on me. So I've got to try and avoid that. Let's go out the ring for a while. The cheap way of sort of avoiding the special move was to run around and make sure he couldn't get you. That was what we always used to do when we were kids. It's like somebody had the special move, everybody was like, shit, clear the ring as quick as you can, you know. It's a good thing I put a 20 count on this thing, otherwise you'd be counted out, got another 10 seconds.
11, 12,
Ugh!
13,
Pile driver on a wooden floor.
14, 15.
Okay, let's get him back in the ring quick. There we go! Okay, let's see if we can do something neat.
2, 3.
Ah, never mind. I was going to fly out and jump on top of him while I was outside the ring, but he had his faculties enough to be able to run out of the way. Oh, he's posing. Typical Hogan. Really showing off, you know. I think one of the big selling points about this game was back in the day, wrestling video games had very limited moves. I think back in the day they were sort of limited to punch, kick, drop kick, suplex and body slam, and an atomic drop from the back. But with this game it had such a myriad of moves, it was so sort of in depth. Let's see if I can do my special move. And I did it, big powerbomb. That's cool. Let's see if I got him. Oh, he kicked out, that's too bad. Let's try it again. Won't try it again. Come on Sting, work with me here. Special meter doesn't last very long, so you really got to get it in as best you can. Now Hogan's got his special move on. So I've got to try and wear him down before he can use it on me. Let's do the cheap thing again.
1, 2.
You know what's happening? I keep pressing
2,
like
3.
I Keep pressing A and the opposite direction so he sort of does an elbow drop off the ring apron even though there's nobody there. See if I can kick Hogan's ass a bit more.
8,
Oh shit!
9,
Into the barricade.
10.
Let's get back in the ring. Gotta finish this guy off. His health isn't exactly stellar at the moment, or his spirit, his fighting spirit, isn't stellar at the moment, so you think I'll be able to finish him off soon. And mine's building up. Big press slam, there you go. Hogan's looking pretty weak at the moment. Let's see if I can do a flying move before he recovers. Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. Yeah, alright, that's what I'm talking about, man. Alright, let's see if I can finish this guy off now. Nice suplex. Stomp him a bit. Look at him holding his head like he's really hurt, you know. Let's do another press slam. There we go. Yeah! Special move. Let's do this in the middle of the ring, see if he can't kick out. So, hold the grapple button. Just press down the analog stick, makes him do a powerbomb.
1, 2 count.
Whoa, it's getting close. That may have knocked him out. Ooh. It's feeling particularly tough today. I get the feeling he may have been dicking with me so far because he's suddenly getting his strength back and his momentum back. See if I can't put a stop to that. Bitch slap to the chest, that's always good. There we go. Nice big martial arts kick.
1, 2, 3.
Yay!
Count ball.
Alright! Sting wins. You know, there's a big sort of fun factor with this game, like I was saying earlier. Unlike, you know, the wrestling games that were on Super Nintendo and Sega Genesis, and even the PlayStation, the first PlayStation, there were only a certain amount of moves, like I said, body slam, suplex, drop kick, punch kick, and one move from the rear. No homo. WCW NWO World Tour, I mean, there's so many moves. You've got at least 8 grapple moves at the front, 8 grapple moves at the back, grapple moves you can do on the ring apron, grapple moves you can do outside the ring, throwing the wrestler into the barricade, throwing the wrestler into the rope so when he bounces back, you got at least 2 or 4 moves that you can do then, you know, to either do a throw or a drop kick or something like that. That was a huge appeal to this game. But the other big fun factor and appeal to this game is the way it really sort of breaks down when there's more than 2 guys in the ring. So we're going to have a battle royal, just so you can see how insane this can get. So who do we want to be? Let's be somebody different. I've been Sting. It'd get boring if I was just Sting all the time. Let's be Rey Mysterio. Since he was dressed like Spider-Man, might as well. Let's pick another couple of wrestlers. Let's have a look at some of these DOA guys. Sumo Joe. Let's go with Hannibal. Oh yeah, by the way, I didn't say this earlier, but you can actually select different. They have 4 different outfits that you can choose from by pressing the left C button, right C button. I think Hannibal looks rather fetching in pink, so we'll go with that. Do we want anybody from the Independent Union? Why not? Let's go with the Unknown, who is actually Super Dalfrin from Osaka Pro. Purple's my favourite colour, we'll stick him in that. One more guy, let's get somebody from the NWO. Since they're all lightweights at the moment, we'll go with 6. Let's pick an actual ring this time. Let's had it on random and it picked the independent union. So let's have a look at the nWo ring. Let's set this to no count out. No rope break. Let's have this be a real sort of no holds barred sort of match. We'll stick a 10-minute time limit on it since it could go on forever at this rate. We'll leave the handicaps as they are. I'm a big fan of mass wrestlers, hence why I pick mostly mass wrestlers. So there's 6, also known as X-Pac. The Unknown, who is actually Super Delphin. And Hannibal in pink, who's actually Japanese wrestling legend Hayabusa. And me, Rey Mysterio Jr., dressed as Spider-Man. So, let's see how I do. On the first match against the computer's probably going to be pretty pissed and be out for revenge, so we'll see what happens. Bitch slap to the face. I demand vengeance. What is it? Not vengeance. I demand satisfaction. 6. Everybody's keeping to themselves at the moment, but you know, there's real sort of potential for gangbanging in Battle Royale mode. And it was always sort of tradition back in the day to just kind of gangbang on one kid, like taking it in turns. Like one kid would get ganged up upon and then I'd get ganged up on, and so on and so forth until somebody actually won. Now the reason this thing can go on forever is it's an elimination sort of thing, so this match only ends when there's a survivor left. So this also has the potential to only go 10 minutes since I set a 10-minute time limit on it. So yeah, it could end up in a big old draw. Switch people. Try a fly move. Whee! Missed. Good piece of advice is to save the flyer moves until somebody's really out of energy. You see what I mean? Trying to be all cool by having Rey Mysterio. Flip over the top right and land on his opponent, but everybody's too healthy for that sort of crap at the moment. I'm flying all over the place and just hurting myself. See, now this is where the gangbanging begins. Everybody's just going after me for some reason. And what did I ever do to them? So, one of the best things about WCW nWo World Tour was how the gameplay didn't lag. It was all smooth and very fluid. Back in the day, N64 games could lag, and some of them did have some slowdown to them. I know Mario Kart 64 had some slowdown to it. Pokemon Stadium did as well, I remember that. Even WWF No Mercy was notorious for slowdown, but WCW nWo World Tour, no slowdown whatsoever. Nice and smooth. Smooth gameplay all the way through, even with 4 guys in the ring, dealing out absolute mayhem to each other. So that, you know, that's a big plus. The music as well with this game, I found the background music very catchy, and even though it can loop on and on for, you know, forever, or however long it takes for you to finish your match, it doesn't get annoying or repetitive. It's that kind of background music that you can listen to for a long period of time and not get sick of, so that's good as well. There's just so many positives to this game. It's you know, if you had an N64 back in the day and you didn't play it, you really missed out on something. I mean, this game is one of the reasons I bought a Nintendo 64, and I actually bought the Nintendo 64 with my own allowance. I had to pay it in installments to the video store back in the day, and I think it took about a year to pay it off with my allowance that I got. But it was worth it, you know, if for anything, just to get this game. But the N64 had so many classic video games, which we will run through at some point or another. Just that, you know, so many great games. And this is one of them. Every person who played this game with me back in the day, not one person said, "Well, I don't like this game," or "Nah, that game isn't very good." Everybody loved this game because it was such a blast to play, and it's one of those games that makes a really good party game. Have some friends over, get a pizza in. So there goes 6, he's eliminated. Fuck off. Trying to clothesline me, cheap shot. Anyway, yeah, it's a really good party game. Get a few friends over, some pizza, some soda, and just play this all night. You know, I've done it with my friends before. Oh, we reversed the move I was trying to do. I've done it with my friends before, and it's always been real fun. The reversals in this game as well really make it enjoyable. See, I thought I was being smart again, but I missed. You can tell it's been years since I've played this game. I'm not as up to scratch on it as I used to be. But there was a point. Oh, here we go, double team move. Yeah, double power bomb. Now I'll turn on this guy since he thought I was helping him, but he thought wrong. Yeah, alright. See, now I'm getting back into the swing of things with this game. See, it's just the potential for absolute madness. I mean, I'm beating up the unknown and then Hannibal comes along, but before he can hit me I start wailing on him. Big over the top rope suplex there. Yeah. Oh, big kick. I kick you back. Oh, in the balls. And the crowd didn't like that. They started booing that. That was always cool. If you did a dirty move on somebody, the crowd would always boo and voice their disapproval. That's always fun. Because it kind of feels like they're on your side then, you know? Special move. The thing about the special moves in this game is everybody's special move is pretty much some kind of variation of a power bomb. Because all Japanese wrestlers did power bombs, and since this was based on a wrestling game filled with Japanese wrestlers, you know, everybody does a power bomb as their finisher. But it's not done yet. Ooh, another big roundhouse kick. Hannibal likes his roundhouse kicks. Let's see if I can get rid of him. Grabbed onto the ropes. Let's try that again. Take 2, yeah? Oh well, didn't have the effect I wanted. I wanted him to go tumbling out of the ring. But never mind. Oh, reversal. Shit. Still fairly strong since Hannibal couldn't pin me. Maybe I should leave him alone because his spirit meter's starting to really pick up, you know? I'll let them go at it for a while. Maybe I can talk a bit more about this game. You know, the graphics were really cool. I mean, it wasn't super realistic or trying to be super realistic like WWF Warzone. This had a serious amount of polygons to it, but I think that sort of over-the-top cartoony look that this game had to it really helped it. It didn't take away from it. Even though everybody looked like their face had been run over by a steamroller, you know. Let's see if I can finish Hannibal off here. And again! There we go. Smacking him in the back of the head with my ass.
1, 2, 3.
There we go.
3 count fall.
2-0 to me. The computer really needs to step its game up, you know what I'm saying? So, as you've seen from what I've played of the game, hopefully it's been conveyed how fun it is, hopefully, because this game really is a hell of a load of fun to play. You know, it was critically acclaimed as well. You know, a bunch of websites gave it like 4.5 out of 5 stars, 8 out of 10, 3 out of 5, some generally very good scores. I think part of what helped it with that sort of success was the amount of different options you had to it. I mean, Create a Wrestler wasn't in this game at all, which is a big sort of staple to wrestling games now. But this game was so good that it didn't need it. I mean, a lot of these later WWE games, it's like everybody buys it for the Create a Wrestler suite and to be able to create an arena and to create entrances, create this, create that. So basically, I feel like I'm working with like Adobe Photoshop or something, or some kind of like piece of computer software as opposed to a video game. But WCW versus nWo World Tour was just such fun that it didn't matter. You know, it didn't need to be able to create or customize wrestlers back then. As long as you had a bunch of different sort of options as to what kind of matches you could have, whether it's one-on-one, tag team, battle royal, have a tournament, have a round-robin tournament, or the whole WCW versus nWo elimination thing. As long as you had that stuff and made it fun, then you don't need all this create a crap, if you want to call it that, you know. I think another thing that really helped really make this game like the fighting game of the year and the sports game of the year back in the day was that its main competition was WWF Warzone. That was the complete opposite end of the spectrum to this game. I mean, this game is sort of, in a way, like a wrestling simulation game. Like, there are so many moves in it, and you can do weak grapples, strong grapples, strong strikes, weak strikes, things like that. WWF Warzone, and I kid you not, was played very much like something like Mortal Kombat. Like, to do a move would be like up B, or up down B, left B, right B, right A, and so on and so forth. And even though Warzone had the Create a Wrestler mode, the gameplay just couldn't touch this. I mean, it was kind of contrived actually, compared to WCW versus nWo World Tour. And because of the success of this game, you know, THQ went on to hold licenses for various professional wrestling video games up until last year when THQ bit the big one, you know. Or was it this year? Yeah, it was early this year. When they fell into bankruptcy. So I think a big part of their success over the years has been the wrestling games that they've pumped out year in, year out. And I think they owe a large part of the success they had over the years to this game, because this game just broke a lot of ground. Tremendous fun to play, whether you're a wrestling fan or not a wrestling fan. You know, as long as you're into like playing a game with your friends and playing, you know, a game where you kick the hell out of each other and you find that fun, then you're really going to enjoy this game. And it still stands up today, I think. I mean, okay, it's not the greatest looking game in the world. It wasn't the greatest looking video game in the world back then, but it just oozed fun, and there was nothing annoying about it. You know, none of the music was annoying, none of the crowd noise was annoying. It was just, you know, absolutely top notch. Absolutely top notch. You know, it's so good I said that twice. For me, like I said, I spent absolutely hours playing this video game. And on the Nintendo 64, these video games would only get better. When WWF WrestleMania 2000 came out, it's like it took this game and just took it to a higher plateau. Whether the sequel to WCW nWo World Tour was better than this game, that's up for debate. For myself, I think that we're going to have to play WCW nWo Revenge to see if it's stacked up better than World Tour. But for now, if we have to give this a score, then let's say 4 out of 5. Just because, you know, the plateau did get higher and higher for Nintendo 64 wrestling games throughout the years. But we'll give this a fairly high sort of score and see if the others can live up to that. So I guess we'll leave it there. Thanks for watching this week's Rocket Vlog, and we'll be back again real soon to test out WCW nWo Revenge and see if it can hang with WCW nWo World Tour. I'm out.